Practicing respect in the classroom is to turn possible negative communication into positive communication. Statements that imply you respect the student's knowledge are often helpful. By reinforcing the strong skills a student may have already demonstrated and providing encouragement to improve other skills, a teacher can boost the student's negative assessment of himself or herself. Another way to increase respect in the classroom is to give students an either-or choice when you are giving instructions, making a request, or offering a suggestion. It also adds a positive flavor that students will be quick to note as you talk with them rather than at them. Let's look at an example.
This assignment will be about the events leading up to World War I. You may either write an essay on the leading causes or work in a group to create a short play based on one of the people we discussed today, like Bismarck or Archduke Ferdinand. Do you have any questions? Okay, Akeem?
Sometimes you can give students options as to how they will report back to you or how they will complete a task. One way I've done that is to use the multiple intelligence model. And for example, we did reports on egg-laying animals, and once they found out specific things about their egg-laying animal, they could report it in a variety of ways.
Some kids can do something really well one way and maybe not so well a different way. So if I'm having a test and maybe a child has a difficult time coming up with an essay answer, a lot of times I'll let them come up and give it to me orally, and that way I still know that they know the answer. So to me it doesn't matter which way, as long as I know that they know the material that was supposed to have been covered.
It's often difficult to get students to communicate respectfully when they're making an objection or complaining. Sometimes it's difficult to answer positively when the student starts off with a negative comment. However, by considering your responses and focusing on the work the students have to finish, you can get the job done. For instance, if a student begins discussing his or her problems in class by complaining about another student, the situation will only worsen if the teacher takes the bait. Instead, the teacher should create a positive atmosphere by focusing on the task at hand and working individually with each student to solve the problem. The point is, you must turn a negative into a positive, or students will never be able to do so. Without positive reinforcement from the teacher, negative communication will prevail. That's why we must take powerful steps to create a positive and fair climate and culture in our classroom.
Negative comments are going to come up throughout the school day because kids might be frustrated. They might not know the answer, or they're tired, or they're hungry, or whatever reason. It depends on the negative comment being said as to what reaction the teacher can give to that negative comment. Sometimes it's better to ignore it. Sometimes maybe you're the only one that heard it. Sometimes it might not have any effect on the lesson or on the rest of the kids. But I think teachers need to look at that on an individual basis. If there is a student who is constantly negative, then that student needs to be spoken with privately so that it can be brought to her attention or his attention, and so that maybe the teacher can offer some ways to squelch that whole habit that the kid might have.
As you can see, developing and reinforcing your personal philosophy is essential to classroom management. The tools necessary for creating this philosophy are entirely within your reach. If you make the effort early on to know yourself, put your philosophy in action, identify your primary instructional style and monitor its effectiveness, and build rewarding relationships and respectful communication in the classroom, you will set the stage for greater achievement throughout the entire year. Thank you for joining us for Tape 2, Developing Your Teaching Philosophy and Relating It to Students. Let's recap what we discussed in this tape. It's crucial that you understand yourself. Knowing yourself allows you to maximize your strengths, minimize your weaknesses, and bring a unique flavor to your teaching. Your philosophy is a reflection of your teaching experiences and insights, and it affects the way students learn in your class. Explaining your teaching philosophy to students allows them to know what to expect from you and your class. Understanding your instructional style will enhance your success as a teacher. In order to understand it, you must know your primary instructional style and regularly ask questions about its effectiveness. Establishing a good teacher-student relationship really does enhance learning on both sides of the desk. A rewarding relationship hinges on the teacher doing his or her job well and on mutual respect and trust. Professional and respectful communication allows for productive teaching and learning. You must demonstrate and reinforce positive communication in the classroom, or disrespectful communication will prevail and stop learning in its tracks. Please join us for the other tapes in this series.